Hey, Popcorn Talk, get ready for Box Office Breakdown. Tonight we're talking about how a team of villains took down the hero that is Jason Bourne. Let's do it.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Look at that. You hear that little...
What's up?
That little poppy music, that can only mean one thing. It's Monday night, 10 o'clock, which means it's
time
Box
to limbo.
Office Breakdown. It's time to limbo. It's also time to limbo, guys.
Yes, that's
Here on
it.
Box Office Breakdown. Welcome, everybody, back for another week here. This is the show that breaks down the weekly box office and then gives its little prognostications for the week ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
My name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane.
And you can stalk me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Skye. And you can find remnants of me on Snapchat at Richie Skye.
Remnants. Just remnants. These little pieces and traces
remnants.
Have you noticed
Snapchat
how
is
Instagram
done.
added like a Snapchat kind of feature to it? I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
I'm totally using that. And the fonts are way better.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Quinn Scillian, she is on assignment, as we like to say. She won't be with us this evening here. But joining us on the panel is Kari's hat that she got from the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
screening that you got to go check out before the screening, the film debuted.
did. And that was pretty cool. This was a radio station prize. I called in, guys. There was no endorsements here or whatever. I just called in. I was caller 2, 13, and 20, the winner. So
Look at that. Let's
I
look
got
at
a
and
hat
get you.
and see it on the Tuesday before the Friday.
Speaking of
That's
fan
fun.
interaction, folks, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on
Yes.
iTunes. Give us those 5 stars. We're going to throw up the chat here as
Yeah.
well. James there in the booth. Hi, James. He's going to throw up the chat.
Hi, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. So look at that. So you guys can chime in, give your thoughts about the week that was in the box office. We also need to talk about certainly the results of the bet that we made last week.
Oh, God.
Yes, there you go, fans. And as you remember, we made the bet. Whoever was farthest away from the total box office for 9 Lives was going to have to see this movie.
Who was the furthest away? I wonder who that was.
Yeah.
Let me just say something. I blame you all for not going to see this movie.
So, Richie Skye, I believe I picked 9 million for,
Okay.
and you went so high.
I was believing in the cat lovers of America.
I think
listen.
it was like 13 or something, so not like huge, but you had like 35. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, that's
You've
like,
never heard of being optimistic?
Oh,
that
my
is like
goodness.
way out there optimistic. That is the
Yes,
So the
Insane.
bet was that I have to see the movie.
that is correct.
they
This
blame you for
ye-
guessing too
No,
high.
I feel like the best way is we got to be able to see it by next week so we can hear your thoughts.
See, that
about
wasn't
it.
Yes.
that wasn't a part of the bet. Frank.
Because I think that's a
you
nice.
never
still
said
supposed to see
when I would see it.
Oh,
but
come on. Yes.
come on.
Ditto. What?
Yes.
Fine, I will go see the movie, and I will let you all know how it was.
There you go. 'Cause
Yay!
That's right.
You can see it as a matinee or the first show.
You know what?
I went to Bourne as a first show and it was only $6.99.
See, there you go.
I will commit my 2 hours
So
this
I
weekend
saw
to
Bourne.
that.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Finally.
So,
Sorry, I was-
folks,
So sad.
chime in on the chat there. Let us know if you like the idea. We'd like to continue this bet. Maybe it's an ongoing thing where each
No,
week one
no,
of us
no.
challenge about a film. We'll see whoever that has to go see a movie for the next week. It's kind of a fun.
Right.
game.
I'm
Maybe.
making conservative
I
guesses
don't know
from
if
now
Quinn's
on.
gonna be so. I'll maybe take that. Well, you have a 1 in 3 chance.
That's
so,
right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, this week
Yeah.
we should take the bullet, but who knows?
Yeah.
That's right. Richie, we came to play.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Oof.
Clearly.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna break down and start off with the box office this week. Coming in at number 1, really no surprise. We'd already been talking about it. I mean, the
Suicide
the advertisement
Squad.
about it had been so high,
Yeah.
such a publicity blitz they did for it. Was Suicide Squad from Warner Brothers, $133.6 million.
You know, just a little tiny amount.
Just a little tiny amount. Actually, did better than Guardians of the Galaxy did.
They made a couple of dollars.
Yes, and I read an article. Exit polls: 46% of the audience was female to see Suicide Squad.
Now, interesting. Certainly, as the box office went on for the weekend, though, the returns dropped.
Well, that was on the Friday.
Yeah, so the box office dropped. So I don't know how it bodes well for the upcoming weekend.
Wait, what do you
but-
mean the returns dropped?
Yeah, the box office kind of dropped each day as it went through
Oh,
the weekend.
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Once the word
okay.
started getting out, the But I mean, it opened up really huge on Friday. Started dropping
I
Saturday.
feel
and
it's
then
pretty
Sunday.
polarizing though. Like the critics are like, "Oh my gosh,
See, and that
it's so
was what I
horrible."
didn't do yet. I didn't look
Yeah.
at the critics' reviews yet, simply because I felt like it was just going to be so big that I wouldn't even need to read it. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to go see it anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me what they think.
Well, like, speaking of, we're talking about go back to 9 Lives Jazz throughout there. No cat lovers
That's
would go. It's
true.
about being punished by being turned into a cat.
Yeah.
So I guess that's true.
I thought Suicide Squad was really fun. I had absolutely no expectations going into it. I'm more of a Marvel fan versus DC, but I like superhero movies, so I'm like, I'll go check it out. And I was like, I don't know the source material a lot or anything like that, so I had no like, well, this is what it's supposed to be like. And I just went in like, okay, this is just going to be a fun time. And it was. I mean, I kind of understand where people are saying like it's a little all over the place, but I'm like, but that's how the characters are, and it felt like it fit the vibe of the crazy ragtag team.
Do you
And,
feel the
you know-
publicity made it seem more fun than the movie was?
No, I just thought it was a fun, weird ride. Some people didn't like the backstories. I thought those were really cool. The only weird thing that like I noticed, but not really bothered me, is when they're introducing characters, they keep changing the music. And it's kind of like when you go to a club and the DJ plays a song you really like, and you're like, this is great. And then they change to another song, and then you're like, but I like that
I
other
hate
one.
when they do
and they
that.
do it again and again and again. And I'm like, well, I like all these songs, but they just change them so quickly. And so that for a little bit was like, a little bit of rub hair the wrong way kind of thing.
Someone earlier on the chat said the first hour was amazing. What was that about?
It's more the
would you agree?
backstory.
Okay.
I mean, similar to Star Trek, like when the big reveal of the bad guy and motivations and that's maybe a little weak, but I just want to know what people are expecting, that they're so disappointed for some people. You're just like, well, okay, whatever. Some people are like, oh, I didn't like this character or that character. It's like, just go watch it to have a fun, entertaining time, and then you'll like it. I don't know why people are just like, just stop bitching about it. And I mean, it's fine to dislike it. That's totally fine. Not everybody's gonna love every movie. There's actually like lots of extra stuff at the end too, so make sure you stay all the way through, by the way.
All right.
I love that.
And yes, I agree too. We talked about this a little bit last week. Like, how much do the critics' opinions affect your attending a movie screening? I generally don't care. I'm curious. I'm more curious what fans say. Like, I will go to the IMDb message boards and waste way too much time reading what people think about something, because then I'm more like, why don't they like this, and want to hear what they say. More like Yelp reviews. You're like, why didn't somebody like this? And you're like, really? That's a stupid thing to say. But anyway, critics, whatever.
So I'll be curious. Were this? I mean, I'm sure this is going to probably lead at least to one sequel for Suicide Squad. Certainly the opening weekend, and I think with DC's kind of restructuring of its film side, with Jeff Johns kind of spearheading the side now, I think we could see.
They're restructuring it.
Yeah, they're restructuring it. Hopefully,
Does
a little
that
bit
mean
more.
that we're gonna get a whole nother release calendar?
Oh, maybe.
I dare you.
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully it'll be a more of a focus on better storytelling, more of a cohesive universe kind of being built out like the Marvel Cinematic Universe does.
I like this. As a moviegoer, I'm expecting a fresh movie with a somewhat structured plot and something I haven't seen before. Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect that for this movie, but that's okay. Looks like there's going to be a Harley movie. Yeah, Harley was cool. Oh no, Diablo has a part in the movie that's so good, and I'm not going to tell you about it. Generic cookie cutter, whatever, just... Okay, wasted potential. I guess I could go with that one. Of like,
Wasted?
maybe there could
You
be
really
more.
think that?
But no, I mean, like, I can understand why someone might say that, but then that means you're expecting too much, and that, okay, so does that mean we should have Hollywood meet these higher standards that we set for them? Because then you're always going to be disappointed, or should that encourage Hollywood to do better?
I think
It's kind of a double-edged sword there.
I think that honestly, I think the concept of doing this was creative enough that should be something that stands on its own at this point, because we've never had something like this before.
It's the first, like, villain movie ever.
Yeah, I feel like people just go see it, have fun, like enjoy it. Stop, like you can't analyze every little thing about a movie.
Yeah.
No, but for me, it's not necessarily if the characters are like interpreted as they are in comic books, but I just want whatever story they're telling in whatever medium they're telling to be a good story. That's all I want out of it. And you know, you can have Joker be.
Don't go for a good story.
All right.
It's kind of
It's an
mediocre. Like, it's fine. You're going for the crazy characters and the weird stuff they do,
what
not
do
the
we
actual
want?
plot.
Right. What do we want from
Yeah.
our action and superhero movies now? Like, I mean, do we need a complex story?
I think you want entertaining characters and an engaging story. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough now to just see the spectacle of superheroes on screen. I think we've seen that so far along. So now you need to tell a good story. I think that's why the Captain America stories have been a little bit more successful than some of the other ones because they've kind of mapped other kind of genres on top of the superhero film.
That's true.
Like a nice 70s kind of conspiracy film with Winter Soldier. I thought it was a really good touch.
I feel like they've kept a lot of those stories true to the source material, and they've deviated where necessary.
Yeah.
With Marvel, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's
so
true.
I feel like that is what's leading that franchise.
Which was more fun, Suicide Squad, Star Trek, or Civil War? Actually, a good thing with that, which we talked a little bit about that, and Star Trek's on here. Someone, and would you guys agree, viewers and panel, do you feel the new Star Trek movie kind of went back to the old style of the show, which I've heard some people say that, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree, and that could be why some people don't like it, because maybe they didn't like the 60s style of the show.
It's a much smaller story, which which is kind of nice, because that's what you can do on a TV show, is that not every episode is about the fate of the entire universe. So you can do that, but then sometimes it's kind of weird to do for a third film where you constantly feel the normal trend is to kind of ramp up the threat, the menace, and the spectacle, and then all of a sudden have your third film really kind of go down and be a little bit more grounded. It's a very different change of pace for a film, especially a third one in a series. Feel free to chime in there on the chat there, or also on the YouTube channel there as well. What do you look for there in a film franchise? Let us know what you're looking for. Are you looking for spectacle? Are you looking for story? Do you just want to have a good time? What matters to you most when you go see a film?
Someone in the chat said that critics enjoyed Sharknado more than Suicide Squad, which makes them not appreciate what critics say. But that's critics taking the movie for exactly what it is. Like Kari was saying, don't go into this with such high expectations. It's a movie. Enjoy it. Embrace the fact that, this is cool. All villains have never been in one movie solely based around them before.
Thinking.
Like, critics liked Sharknado because they see it's cheesy and ridiculous and over the top, and that's how it's supposed to be. So, take it for what it is, people.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel certainly with at least DC and Marvel, there's just so much attention and expectations, whether good or bad, on each of those respective universes. It's certainly more with DC, given the way that they feel like Batman versus Superman, Green Lantern, other films have not really.
I thought Green Lantern was cool.
I almost feel like
it was fun. I like Ryan Reynolds though. I like Ryan Reynolds.
I almost feel like the DC movies, the characters are so boring.
Maybe.
The superheroes never look like they're having any fun.
Did we let? Okay.
Well, that's true in Batman versus Superman. Everybody was just mopey.
Yeah, it's like, why are we so dismal?
Yeah, I think that's I think you would see more of a contrast. You want to see Batman versus Superman. You want to see you more of a moody, broody type of guy versus a more altruistic, more aspirational figure. Not two guys that have kind of like a dour, sour mood off there. It's like that's no fun.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 at the box office though, being dethroned after 1 week there. Jason Bourne. Good old Matt Damon took a tumble down to number 2 from Universal. There were $22.4 million, a 62.2% drop in the box office.
I want to add I did enjoy it, but I had same thing. I had no expectations for that, and it's just another action movie kind of feel. But I'm like, but have you seen the other Bourne movies? That's kind of what they're like. And we were just talking about this before the show. The problem with that, the new one is you don't need to. They're not revealing anything new, so there's no thriller aspect to it. Not really. So it's more just a high-octane action movie the entire time. But I do want to add, that scene where they're driving in Las Vegas on the Strip, there's absolutely no way you could drive that fast. I've been to Vegas numerous times, and you drive maybe 10 miles an hour on that Strip. There is no open lanes that all. And then something kind of cool,
it's a creative license there.
Yes. The hotel they crash into, the Riviera, I think they were tearing it down. So I didn't look it up, but I knew they were tearing it down, and they destroyed part of it. So it probably was perfect timing of their hey, go ahead, we're tearing it down right now anyways. They'd already torn down one of the towers.
I always thought the interesting thing about those movies was that they took place over a bunch of different locations in the past. Was that the case with this movie?
What is it?
The plot usually
places?
I love that they went to so many locations. Did they do the same thing this time?
They went to a few different locations.
Okay. Yeah, they were in Greece and they were in Las Vegas.
I always think that's exciting.
Germany as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people are bringing up here in the chat there that one of the things that irritated them there about the Suicide Squad, certainly with the marketing, is they kept on really playing up the Joker and Jared Leto's performance.
Yeah, and he's not in it that much actually. Yeah. I did tell people that I'm like, don't expect the Joker to be in it, but it makes sense.
He did all this method acting,
not
and he
the
didn't
bad guy.
have that,
He is not the bad guy, And he's not in the Suicide Squad, so obviously he's not going to be in it as much. His main
They
connection
just
is
made
with
it
Harley,
seem
and
like
that's it.
his role, like
Yeah, no, they played it up way bigger.
was so huge, and they made it seem like he was always in character on set, and like you're like in it for what 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, he's not in it collectively that much.
It's a shame because I was hoping it'd be more very similar to the DC direct-to-video film Assault on Arkham, where Joker was in there as well as the Suicide Squad, and he was much more prominent in that storyline, but being very much an opponent to the Suicide Squad and kind of going out against all the Suicide Squad for just a little payback. So I thought that was more entertaining, and I'd hoped it would be the case in this
That's
film.
what I was thinking it was going to be, but
not the case.
oh well.
So Jason Bourne, yeah, I feel like the thing with Jason Bourne though is I feel like after the first trilogy, we kind of, we kind of reached a resolution with the character. So if you're going to bring him back, let's see something new or a different shade.
But
or
does
different
it kind of wrap it up though?
I mean, you find
Kind
out
of closes. A
uh,
little bit,
after
even
the
though it
third
has an
one?
open ending. No, this
one. Do you? But I mean, do we? Was it worth coming back? Did we learn anything new that was like, hey, I'm so glad that we, because I felt like
I'm telling you, it's like that relationship where the person just comes back, and you're like, did you really need to come back? I don't know.
Because I think the idea
I
is
need
that-
to see it.
I know Universal would love to be in the Paul Greengrass, Matt Damon, and Jason Bourne business, but do you think like this was enough? Like the ending for that was like, I want to see what's next.
Do you feel like you
No,
want
I
to see
feel
more?
it's done. They shouldn't make another one after this one because the way it ends now. I mean, you could, but it kind of ends nice in its sort of open ending, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because he does a thing, and then I'm like, but it works. You're not like I felt satisfied enough with how it ended and wrapped up.
Yeah, I felt like they shouldn't have come back. Nah. Coming in at number 3, though, we had Bad Moms.
I'm so
That
shocked
did
at
pretty
this.
well. Yeah.
$14 million.
I'm so shocked that this movie is still hanging in there.
Yeah.
Like I just
Shocked
feel
in a
like
good
it
way
is
or
just
shocked in a bad way?
But I mean, look at the
neither. I'm just shocked.
Yeah.
I'm just
shocked.
quite shocked.
But look at how much lower money value it is compared to like Suicide Squad made so much, Jason Bourne kind of a lot, and then we jumped down a bit for Bad Moms and then 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's hanging there too.
It's kind of like hanging in there by default.
Yeah, a little bit, because
But
it's
it's
the
still
only
hanging in
other
there.
movie. Like, hey, if you don't want to see a superhero movie and you're not really into the action movie,
Yeah, it's a nice example of
You
accountability.
must be
know.
a bad mom.
And like you got to factor in like what their budget was compared to those other two
That too.
have mad
That
special
too.
effects and actions and stuff blowing up. Where it's like, well, what's our budget? Well, we need a house, we need like a van, a park, and
Yeah.
some strollers. The baby from the American Sniper, who knows?
And we've got a movie, folks.
Well, look at that. I saw it just rolling by in the chat there. Bad Moms equals Cringe Fest.
ouch.
Oh.
Sister-in-law loved Bad Moms.
Oh, all right, great, Ryan. That's great.
I mean,
Ryan's
maybe some.
sister-in-law loved it.
Obviously, people liked it that they went and saw it.
I would love Ryan's comment to be on the poster there. It's like, my sister-in-law loved Bad Moms. Yeah, Disney's doing pretty well this, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show, talking about their success this year. But speaking of animated films, The Secret Life of Pets from
That
Universal,
is doing so well.
Still hanging in there as
Wow.
well.
number 4 with 11.5 million.
And we're on like what, week 3 or 4 now?
Yeah, it came out the second week of July.
It's definitely hanging in there, or it's
feel like
marked its territory.
Oh, yeah.
It's clawed its way in.
I feel like it's been
wow.
like 10 weeks and that movie's still in the countdown.
But it is one of those things that it's the only kids movie that's the big new one right now.
Yeah.
Well, Ice Age, yes, which I did see some people comment that some people love that movie, so sorry that we're ragging on a little bit. We were like, why are they making it? Obviously, there's an audience that went to see it. It made it in the top 5 before.
No, that's very true. I mean,
That one time.
And be curious, next
Yeah.
week we have Pete's Dragon from Disney, so we'll see what a live-action family film does for them.
I don't like the
Goodness.
way that this looks at all.
Pete's
Mm.
Dragon?
No, because my fiance was such a huge Pete's Dragon fan, and I've watched it with her. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, isn't he the only one that sees the dragon?
I thought before he was.
At the beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like when the
Nobody
movie
saw him.
starts, no one can see the dragon
Yeah,
but
he's
him.
invisible.
And then there's the whole like a dragon. I swear I saw it. So like from like not only is it ridiculously CGI dragon, but it seems like everyone sees the dragon. So it's like, well, wait, doesn't that change the entire plot of the story?
Well, there was one point in the story where you could see the dragon disappear, at least from the trailer. So I'm not sure how much of that will be in the movie. But that
Maybe
dragon
it's-
to me looks like a teddy bear.
He's
Is it supposed to
fuzzy.
look like that?
Yeah, that's weird because the old one he was not
I
fuzzy.
wanted to see a real dragon.
Well, the
I
cartoon.
wanted to see.
You want to see
You want
real
like a dragon
Yeah,
heart
you said a real
dragon?
Wait, where are these real dragons, Richie?
Yeah. Well, the thing with it is maybe this is a bad trailer for it where they're showing us the other scenes, you know? I'm wondering, just playing devil's advocate for it, so I'm like, maybe.
I wanted to see a
But
Game
I
of
remember
Thrones
loving
dragon.
the old one. But that's not what he looked like in the old one.
I
so
know,
that
but
is
I just
the-
wanted to see that.
Are you making it a remake or are you making a new interpretation? Oh, looks like a dog. That's a good
That's
point.
what I'm saying. I mean, this doesn't look like anything that's
But he's
menacing
like
or
a
threatening.
pet.
So it's like when the police are like being called and they're like, you know, chasing down this dragon. I don't feel like any sense of like why these people
Danger.
would be threatened by this little teddy
'Cause
bear,
it's a
Teddy
dragon?
Ruxpin flying through the sky. I just don't get it.
Looks like Clifford.
I
Okay.
need more. I need more.
We'll talk about Pete's Dragon in just a moment, but we'll round out our top 5 here with Star Trek Beyond from Paramount. A little over $10 million. So, so far it's grossing about 127.7 so far in its 3-week run.
I ain't mad at it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's we've talked about it before. I wish it was doing a little bit better. It's just I think we're going to get a 4th film the way that J.J. Abrams has
You
been
think so?
teasing Chris Hemsworth. Wanted to have him. I think, you know, if you have a chance to have Chris Hemsworth in a film of yours,
That might change the dynamic of the whole film.
and it'd be kind of nice if they use that as a chance to wrap up like the Kelvin timeline, maybe kind of restore order, get it more synced in with the original series timeline. Could be interesting. But that was our top 5 there at the box office. Now internationally, Warner Brothers with the Suicide Squad posted a final of 133.3 million on 17,630 screens in 57 markets. That pushes the offshore debut $1.2 million over that of Deadpool, which bowed in February to $132.1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, basically, Suicide Squad maintains a record of a biggest all-time August opening abroad and the second biggest DC opening behind Batman vs. Superman. It has also the overseas IMAX record for August, although Sunday's estimate, as we talked about, the box office kind of getting lower as the weekend went on. The original estimate was lowered from 7 million to 7 million from 7.2 million. And then, as we talked about Secret Life of Pets, and it's crossed 500 million worldwide. And setting up with China with a $28.9 million start. Not bad. But still, it cannot compare to Finding Dory. We've been talking about Disney's success at the box office this year. Finding Dory just spun a global total of $870.3 million.
Woo.
And it's about to pass Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice to become the 4th biggest grossing film of the year worldwide. So Disney's killing it there in the box office.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, and I want to commenting on Deadpool. I do think Deadpool was way better than Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And I do agree with that statement.
No,
But they're very different kind of movies, though. Because Deadpool is like that was kind of new and original in how they handled the humor, the violence for that superhero. Like the opening credits where they made jokes. That was brilliant.
Yeah, but I also thought you're kind of being true to the character from the comic book. You're trying to.
That's what he was like.
And I just felt like in Suicide Squad, I have not seen it yet, but at least just from the bits and pieces that I have, I mean, the characters are just kind of all over the map. So it's like I feel like if you would have dialed in, get the characters a little bit more locked down, maybe it would have been a better story.
Well, and that goes back to what Richie was saying of like DC versus Marvel, and just Marvel having more entertaining type characters.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we've been talking about movies a lot for a while here, and certainly when you go to the movies, you like to eat. Right, but it's not just the movies you want to eat. Sometimes when you get home, you want to eat. But we're all busy. Look at us.
Yes.
I mean, we're all trying to see movies. Richie's got so many movies to see. I mean, he's got to see.
I know.
Secretly,
I know.
he's got to see 9 Lives. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate.
So much going on this week.
How can you expect Richie to go home and cook?
And you can't.
Nope.
No, you can't. But you know what? That's you don't have to worry about that, Richie, or any of you folks listening at home. Blue Apron is here to help because Blue Apron's mission statement is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. Now, Blue Apron achieves this by supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. Blue Apron has established partnerships with over 150 local farmers, fisheries, and ranchers from across the United States. And as a result, seafood is sourced sustainably under standards developed in partnership with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. Beef is raised humanely, chickens are free range, pork is raised naturally, and regenerative farming practices are used for produce. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Now, Blue Apron can be delivered to 99% of the continental U.S. and 99.5% of food desserts. Now, because Blue Apron ships the exact amount of each ingredient required for a recipe, they are reducing food waste. Now, cooking together, which is great, we build strong family bonds. Research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. Those who spend a lot of money eating out or at high-end grocery chains can now spend under $10 per person for a healthy, well-balanced, delicious meal. Spiced pork burgers with goat cheese and cucumber corn salad, summer vegetable and quinoa bowl with a fairy tale eggplants, shishoto peppers and corn, chicken tinga tacos with summer squash and tomato salsa. Oh, Richie, look at that face. Look at them. He's
We're
already
drooling. Make me hungry.
Now all ingredients are created equal, so fresh, high-quality ingredients taste better and are better for you. So it's important to know where your food comes from. Talk about your personal experience with Blue Apron. So, Richie, I know you love to cook. Tell me about that great quinoa salad that you made.
Oh my God! Listen, I could use this every day in my life because I hate cooking personally. But if I had all of the right ingredients, do you know how that would change my life? And I didn't have to go to the grocery store to get it.
It comes to you. That's the greatest thing. You don't have to worry about going out to the grocery store.
That is convenient.
Yes. Blue Apron comes right to your own home. Now, for less than $10 per meal, Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Blue Apron knows that when you cook with incredible ingredients, you make incredible meals. So they set up the highest quality standards for the community of artisanal suppliers, family-run farms, fisheries, and ranchers. Look at that. Now, whether it's Japanese ramen noodles, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, or heirloom tomatoes, Blue Apron is bringing you the best. Now, you can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free. That's right, free. Look at that. With free shipping. Man, does this get better? Oh, look at this. By going to blueapron.com/box office. That's right. We love you. We want to help you make sure you get a great home-cooked meal that you can make yourself right there. Now, you'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. Come on. You can cook while you watch us. Look at that.
There you go.
That's right. What a great accompaniment. Just listen to us talk about movies and box office. Talk about Richie seeing all 9 lives. You know, then cooking some Blue Apron food. So now make sure you go to blueapron.com/box office. Blue Apron, guys, it's simply a better way to cook. Look at that.
You're making me so hungry.
Oh,
And I just ate too.
So now, as we got a couple films coming out next week, we talked a little bit about Pete's Dragon. So as always, we like to try to draw on that as just to kind of do our own little alternative top 5 at the box office. Now, Pete's Dragon that's coming out, they've got Paul Redford. It's Robert Redford, not Paul
Robert
Redford.
Redford.
Robert Redford starring in that
Roberto.
along with Bryce Dallas Howard. So we thought, why don't we take a look at Robert Redford's top 5 films in the box office for their
Sounds
opening
good.
weekends. So it's certainly a little different than what the totals are, just the opening weekends for that. And I was a little surprised when I pulled this top 5 together. Actually, I kind of cheated and made it 6 because the 5th one was just his voice. So I was like, let's just say.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, let's focus on Mr. Redford's live action appearances there. So coming up at number 6 for his totals there, but this was his live action, was Up Close and Personal with Michelle
movie.
Pfeiffer. Yeah, it was alright. I didn't mind that. Yeah, I thought that was a good deal. That had just think 11.1 million. That was back in '96. So yeah.
Wow.
Did you see it, Kari?
No, I was looking at these. I'm like, I saw Charlotte's Web, Captain America, and I'm familiar with the other ones.
Oh, all right. Well,
I know their names, but just haven't seen it.
Certainly number 5, which we're going to just give a nod to, but not really consider right now, is Charlotte's Web, where he did the voice. Then at number 4, we have The Horse Whisperer, which came out in '98 for $13.68 million. I never saw The Horse Whisperer.
Did not see
That was a popular
that
book, though,
movie.
too.
Yeah. Never. I don't know.
I think it did. Well, obviously, it did pretty well.
Yeah, I think for people who
Yeah.
who love horses and love whispering, this was the movie for them.
You've got it all
finally,
right there.
Finally, that came together. Guys, I love horses and I love whispering. Is there a movie for me?
it's
If
not
all those people had
bad.
seen
It's like
9
being
Lives, we
able
would have
to-
been way more successful.
It's like horses that just aren't behaving properly or something, and he's able to behavior analyze them and have them calm down.
Oh, it's not just guys who ride horses and only talk in a whisper.
No. Like pretty much if they're out of control or that like the expression like it's like a Mustang that needs to be broken or whatever, and he'll like rein them in.
By whispering.
That pun was not terribly intended, but no, I think it's more just he knows how to talk to them, not necessarily literally a whisper.
That's a shame. That's an opportunity missed.
Yeah.
Number 3, though, from Paramount, we have Indecent Proposal. coming out in
Good
93 there.
movie.
$18.38 million. Yeah, I kind of figure like Paul, why do I keep saying Paul Newman? I keep getting that. I want to keep going to that. Robert Redford, yeah, I felt like that was a fun role for him to get my attention there with Demi Moore and Woody Harrelson. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Demi Moore. Where is she?
She might be at home right now watching. Demi, are you home watching Box
Comment,
Office Breakdown?
Demi.
Coming in at number 2 was Spy Game from Universal, which surprised me. Coming out, I mean, I guess because it was Brad Pitt as well. So it came out in 2001, 21.68 million for its opening weekend. That was an okay film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It was decent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I love Sneakers, and that came down a little bit lower on this. I think that was number
really
7.
Good. Yep.
Sneakers was such a fun film, and I had hoped that it had done better in the box office. Its opening weekend.
Maybe that's more like a cult fan thing.
Yeah, I mean, but it had such a nice lineup of actors in there. I
Yes,
thought maybe,
it does. Yeah.
it didn't necessarily rely on Robert Redford. I thought that was like, but that was a fun film. But didn't make the top 5 or 6 as we're talking here. But coming in at number 1, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Came out in 2014, $95 million.
Great
He's
movie
not
right
in
there.
it as much. That's another one of those like movies where it did really well, and you're like, well, they're kind of in it.
Yeah, but
He walked by.
He walked by.
Yeah.
But he wasn't bad. He wasn't
He had
bad
a
in
role.
the movie.
Yes.
He had a good role in it.
Yeah.
For what
Ish.
he did. And for some reason, we just think, oh, Robert Redford, he took the time to do it. Whether it's like, hey, I want to do something that my grandkids could watch or whatever. But for whatever reason, he didn't phone it in.
No,
He did not.
He did well.
Yeah, so I mean,
Sure.
he was entertaining to watch, and just to think like, hey, Robert Redford in a Captain America movie. I remember when that casting was released, I was like, whoa, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what the chat's got to see.
Hail Hydra.
I like the
Yep.
last comment there. That's pretty funny.
Horse Whistler was good.
No. Oh, I think that was probably a typo. No, a little lower.
Oh,
I know a couple people who've gone back twice now, actually, for Suicide Squad. Because there were Easter eggs they were so excited to go look for or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it takes a lot for me to go back a second time unless I'm going with people who haven't seen it.
right.
Like if I'll take a friend, I'm like, oh, did you see it yet? No, okay, I'll go with you, because then it's like you get to relive the experience with someone who hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, so now as we talked about Robert Redford and his film here, of course, we're talking about next week's films. So far, next week's in the box office, we've got Florence Foster Jenkins with Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant.
It looks quirky, funny.
Yeah, I mean,
It looks like something Meryl would do.
It'll be something my mom's gonna go see.
Out of the two of them, who is more of a draw for you to want to go see a film? If you see a film with Hugh Grant or a film with Meryl Streep, which
Meryl
one's more?
Streep.
Really?
For me.
She's probably more for the drama. He's been lately doing good, or I like him for comedy. So I mean, it's more like, ooh, it's great they're together.
But if you saw, which one would get you more excited to go to see a movie with Hugh Grant or a movie with Meryl Streep?
I guess it depends on what the role is. I have so many more specifications. I'm like, well,
Just Carrie, just play the game with me. Just answer my
Hands
question.
down,
Fine.
Meryl Streep.
I guess Meryl.
Really?
Yeah,
Hands down.
absolutely.
I like
Interesting.
him though. So
For
yeah,
me, it's
I'm
Hugh
like,
Grant. I
yeah.
would find myself more compelled to go see a film with Hugh Grant in it than I would with Meryl Streep. Not that Meryl Streep's terrible, but it's just like, for some reason, just something about Hugh Grant. I find him compelling to watch.
Sure.
Yeah. So certainly with the two of these, it's not Meryl Streep that gets me excited about seeing this film. It would be Hugh Grant. Mm-hmm. But so far, I mean, I don't know. In terms of marketing and stuff, have you seen a lot of this? I feel like I've seen a
Not
lot of
much.
commercials.
TV.
I've seen a lot of
Yes.
TV commercials for it, more so than anything else.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah, and I feel like like the poster. I mean, it just
It doesn't tell you much about it at all.
no. It's tough to get you to think,
And
okay,
even
she's
the-
an old lady.
Yeah, even the trailer, you're a little bit like, so what's it about, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Little bit.
sometimes there are these movies that they do, and we just really no one's gonna see it, but like they know that they're
Oh.
gonna. No, I don't mean that in a negative way. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I mean it's like this. Nobody's really gonna go see it, but for some reason it's gonna end up on like literally every award list. You know what I'm saying? Come the end of the year, I bet it's one of those movies. Now, I'm not gonna go see a movie if I'm wrong. I'm not gonna do anything else. So I just really believe that.
I feel this one's gonna be a like indie theater gold one. Like it'll
Yeah,
be very
but-
popular in like the Laemmle theaters in LA. I mean, I don't know how far around they are, but like it's the one that it's probably an older audience, a period piece fan audience. Meryl, yes, of course, and Hugh as a draw. Or just the crowd that likes more independent, not the big blockbuster movies.
But I feel like those are the types of movies that win awards.
Oh yeah.
come award season. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sometimes their agents just go, "This is gonna be good for you."
I don't think that's this movie. I don't know. I mean, not that they think they do terrible movies, but I also don't think this is like one of those like Meryl Streep award, potential award.
But I just think look at the
films.
two of them together, and I feel like that's gonna be enough to push it in that direction.
Maybe a Golden Globe. I could see maybe a Golden
You know what I
Globe.
mean?
I can't see Academy.
I don't know.
Awards are just so strange and peculiar because there are times where one year it's like the mass populace of people saw them all, and then there's years where it's like only the art house people would have seen it, and not everybody has access to those kind of theaters, or they're not even available in like all cities. So it's interesting when it's a year where it's like, okay, everybody saw that movie, or it's a year where it's like, 20% of the population saw the movie, and you're like, wait, why did that win? And so many times maybe it's a really good movie, but as a personal enjoyment you're like meh.
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference between just a viewer liking something, and then as a film quality, it being good. That's my thought on the awards.
We shall see come December.
I know, right?
Now, also, as we talked a little bit about, is Pete's Dragon, remake of the popular Disney film being remade here, I guess, as I mentioned, with Robert Redford, Bryce Dallas Howard. So for this, are you excited about the idea that Disney's remaking one of their classic films?
We love remakes here, so
Is that the official stance of Box Office Breakdown? Okay. All right. Just checking.
I enjoyed it a lot as a kid. I'm not super excited by the trailer by seeing the trailer, but I am curious.
No, I mean, certainly it's a little different. Like you see, like Jungle Book. I mean, it was, I guess a reimagining, but it's also, Disney did the animated version, so
it's a little bit different though. But Pete's Dragon was live action, but the dragon was animated, which is essentially what it is now. It's just a different side of animation. So, and I love the old Disney movies that did that, where they had like an animated thing in it. So those were cool.
They missed the ball on doing what is Pokemon Go called? Augmented reality. What if that was how he saw the dragon?
Through an app?
Through
on
an
his
app.
phone?
Yeah.
They missed the boat.
you
on
just
that
gave
one.
away a movie idea. Someone at home's
Hit me
gonna
up
take
at
that.
the Jimbo Slice. I want.
That's right. I don't know. Would you rather see Disney investing their time? I mean, I guess that's just the
In
way
like a new thing?
in a new thing, or I mean, I guess you
New things are not. Well, okay, how's this? If you're going to do a remake, at least give a new thing every other time, Because just remakes after so long, it gets exhausting. You're like, oh, it's just not refreshing. Like the audience, obviously people want something new and different.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to keep cannibalizing your fan base.
Yeah.
Just by
Maybe
showing.
the kids will enjoy seeing the teddy bear fly around.
Rich is clearly excited about this.
You know what it was? I was watching the trailer and I just had been. I was getting a little excited because I loved the direction it was going, and then when I saw the dragon, I was like, okay, I
Y'all peace out.
Well, I feel like with the
Right.
trailer, I feel like I've seen this movie, and I feel like I want to say it's Iron Giant.
Yeah. See, I loved Iron Giant.
I love Iron Giant too, but I feel like it's very similar to that.
Sure.
Where all of a sudden this kid has a friend that's this incredible creature or being, and everybody else is scared of him for whatever reason. They're just terrified of something they don't quite understand, and they just want to just get rid of him. And then we're gonna see that. So, and then maybe we'll see him sacrifice himself valiantly at the end. If he says he's Superman, I'll be in for that.
Well, I was going to say new one-ish, and I forget how you say the name, but it's the new one. Disney's going to be coming out, the Hawaiian Princess.
Yeah. Oh man, that looks great.
That looks great for Thanksgiving. But there's
yes.
already people complaining that the God guy voiced by Chris Rock is...
Or Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, that character. They're like, well, that's not a really good representation of those people. Like, he's just too, like, thick, big, and not in a good way. And I'm just like, why?
people are so draining.
But there are
with
people
these
who look like that,
things.
and he's not human. He's a god, so his interpretation could be stretched a little bit.
We see him. We see him shapeshift throughout that whole entire trailer. So,
I think it looks great.
man, I'm really jazzed about that one. That one's getting me excited.
Can we do another trailer tangent real quick?
Oh, yeah, please.
The Great Wall of China. Okay, it's a monster movie. I'm like, I see everybody post about it on my Facebook, and I'm like, I want to jump in. I'm like, I don't want to hear. First off, it's a monster movie, so it's not even real life. So people are like, oh, it's like whitewashing. Okay, 5 main characters, only one of them is white, and he is foreign. It is a Chinese director. The main characters are Chinese, and it's like, he's not the savior that's just a trailer. Everybody knows. I mean, you could go more like, well, the white audience knows Matt Damon, and they're going to go see it more likely seeing him more in the trailer. But you're just like, ugh. Just people are just bitching about it. And the director himself goes, go watch the movie and stop, like, talking about it, and you haven't even seen it yet.
No,
People are so offended by every little thing these days.
It's not like real life.
With our entertainment. Like, it's... just go see the movie first.
I mean, it's, as Kari was saying, these are that double-edged sword.
Yes, today is way too PC. Oh my gosh, yes.
No, yeah, because Kari was saying earlier, it's like you want to be able to advertise your film to get people in the audience, but then you also know that by doing that, they're going to comment on whatever you show them.
I didn't say Chris Rock, I just said The Rock. Yeah. I mean, that's what he was called for a while. I mean, yes, he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but I grew up with him being The Rock. I didn't say Chris Rock. Just saying.
So it's a shame that because I'm certainly, if you look at the international cut of that trailer, I'm sure Matt Damon is played down a little bit less and
Probably.
they focus more on the Chinese stars.
Let me go see it before I make my assessment.
Well, he's a foreigner in it too. Someone's like, Matt Damon looks out of place. I'm like, yeah, but he's a foreigner, so that's the whole point of like, well, you are the odd one out. Then. But the question is, yes, why is he there? What purpose is it? And how much is he? But it still looks cool.
I think the reason that he also just looks out of place is that if I was thinking about that movie and I was pitched to it, Matt Damon would be like maybe not even on my top 5 actors that I think I would see in that type of film.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Damon just him, not just him being a white man in a Chinese film, but just Matt Damon in this. Like, that seems...
It made me think too of like the 13th Warrior, because Antonio Banderas is the odd one out in that one too. Like he's the not part of that group, but he's in it and he's just part of it. It's not a big deal. Oh, I said The Rock. Well, fine. If Chris came out, that's not what I was thinking.
We're going to the
13th Warrior is so excellent, but it also makes me think of like The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
That one, I'm like, ooh, no. That one's, But I didn't get that vibe when I saw 13th Warrior.
Did people hate on that as much as they are on this about like, oh, why is there a white guy in this movie?
Is that how they sound, James?
With Last Samurai? Oh, yeah. They were not happy with that. And that one, he is kind of the savior. He is the white man savior. So you can be upset about that one a little bit. Just saying.
Yeah. Who's going to see this? Just based on the trailer?
It's a monster movie. I am so in.
I'm all
and
about
I like
a monster
foreign
movie
films.
and all of that
it
stuff.
It looks gorgeous, though.
But I think that they often, I mean, it's understandable. Sometimes they need someone who's familiar that will pull in, a U.S. audience. I mean, so it's sometimes hard to find an actor that's not, mainstream, I think is a good word for this.
Sure.
Who can pull in an audience that's gonna go see this movie.
But
if it's US, you know what I'm saying, on US soil.
This is the type of the movie though where it's like, if you told me Vin Diesel was in this movie, I'd buy that, and that makes sense to me.
There's a new XXX movie.
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
So
one.
he just seems like he fits.
That trailer is on.
Seems like Vin Diesel seems like somebody that you can see in that
for
movie.
you,
Matt
it's
Damon
just
seems
the
like
actor in general.
Choice.
He doesn't work for you.
It just seems so weird that Matt Damon would be in this movie. But I mean, I'll see it just because, he just feels like an actor.
I get that
just,
vibe.
I think they're trying to bring Matt Damon back.
Where was he? Where was he?
I think they're trying to make him a thing again. I don't know. He was a thing for a minute, remember?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He's still a thing on our hearts, at least, Richie.
Come back. More movies get on board with practical effects. I agree. I wish there were more movies that did practical effects. Or, like with Hellboy, it's practical effects and then they layered on CGI. Because it's like, with Abe Sapien, they could do the suit, but they couldn't make the eyes blink. There wasn't enough space to do that. So they did it digitally. And that worked beautifully.
So now, as we talked about, our last film that's coming out is Sausage Party. There you go, from Sony Columbia. There, the Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg animated film, kind of almost like a Toy Story, but for food, but also R-rated as well. So we've got those 3 films coming out this week, in addition to everything else that's been in our top 5. So we're going to do our little prediction of what we think the top 5 will be next week. Richie Skye, what do you think is going to be the...
Oh, I'm going to go with Suicide Squad first. That's number 1.
Okay.
I'm going to reach out on a limb here and go with Pete's Dragon, number 2.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go with Jason Bourne. I'm going to go with Bad Moms because I just feel like they're going to hang in there one more time. And then I was really torn about the Sausage Party versus Secret Life of Pets. And I'm actually going to go with Secret Life of Pets.
You don't even think Sausage Party is making the top 5?
I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet. I want to see it, but I'm not
Okay.
sold yet.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it's interesting for that one because it is animated, which a lot of people unfortunately are like, oh, it's animated, I don't want to watch it. And you're just
Exactly.
like,
They've confused people.
what? Well, not even just like for kids, just on principle. I've met people, they're like, oh, it's animated. And you're like, what's wrong
I'm
with
kind
you?
of like that sometimes too. Like, it's animated. Why am I going to see this as a movie?
No.
And why is Matt Damon in it?
All right,
Why is he
fine.
not in this movie?
I'll go with number one. Will Suicide hold on to number one? Even if it drops 50%, yes. Okay, I'll go Suicide Squad number one. Adult comedy, let's try the craziness. Let's go with Sausage Party for 2. Pete's Dragon
my
for
God.
3. Bourne for 4. And Pete's Dragon will replace the kids' movies, and I'll go with Bad Moms for 5.
Wow, interesting. I feel
Interesting
like
choice.
all
Carrie.
these Sausage Party seems like the biggest wild card. I just don't know. It
It's
could go
what
either
I
way.
know,
It could
right?
go either
That's
way
why
on
I
this
was like,
one.
let's put it in.
Yeah,
Let's find out.
I could easily buy into what Richie's saying
Yeah.
or what Kari's saying in terms of how it could do really well,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just kind of like, we're
Let's find out.
acting out. So for me, I still think, reluctantly, I'll go with Suicide Squad. Still is number one. I'm gonna give that. I think Pete's Dragon. I think there's a little thirst for some of the family.
Family,
Yeah.
the new family movie of the summer. It's
Yeah.
still summer. All the kids are not in school yet.
So I'll go for Pete's Dragon number 2, Jason Bourne number 3, Sausage Party number 4, and I'll say I can think Bad Moms. Yeah, that'll be number 5. Goodbye, Secret Life of Pets and Star Trek Beyond. Live long
What?
and prosper. Yeah, those will be off the top 5.
You guys watch Secret Life of Pets is going to claw its way back.
Sadly, Florence Foster Jenkins not making the
Not
top
the top.
5.
No,
That is not.
no.
Bye, Meryl.
I like somebody in the chat with Sausage Party is going to be great.
Well, as we're talking about
Oh
Sausage
no!
Party.
Go off the line. We can't see it. There we go.
My list is all right. Hugh, let's see. Oh, his
Mix-
list is the same as who's Hugh.
Yeah.
I like to think it's mine. I'm just gonna selfishly say Hugh agreed with me.
Yeah, animation has a reputation for kids. That's true. But some people not like in black and white movies too.
Well-
They're like, I won't watch it. I worked at Blockbuster and and even Hollywood Video, throwbacks, guys. And someone would come with a movie and they'd be like, oh, it's black and white. I don't want it at all. And I'm just like, what?
I
I
mean,
didn't understand.
if it's Alfred Hitchcock, maybe.
Well, how's if we're talking about Sausage Party, how's the marketing been for that? Do you feel like
They have ads.
You sucked in, Kari?
No, I'm not. I
feel
just
like-
think they've done a good job of their ads are all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
and they are showing the innuendo enough that you know it's not a kids movie. I heard Sausage Party was the worst. Ha ha ha. Good puns
Yeah,
there.
I don't know.
Oh, Hugh does not like
And
sausage
don't
parties.
like. Well, yeah, I mean, who loves sausage parties unless you're a girl or a gay man and you walk into it? But.
and you walk into it. All right.
But their ads tell you enough, so I don't think there's gonna be too much confusion of like, wait, what is this for? Because like the ad of like the hot dog is like the hero will rise,
Yeah.
and okay, it's pretty obvious.
We're
The taco one is like she can do fish or beef. I thought that was actually pretty funny.
So we're not going to see any dads like just confused, like, come on, kids, let's go see this cartoon, huh?
I would hope the employee at the movie theater be
And for a
like,
surprise.
you know, it's not for kids, right?
Well, as we're talking about Sausage Party, and
Yeah.
it seems like, I'm just going to continue this trend because I had so much fun with it last week, where we're going to do our box office prediction for the opening weekend of Sausage Party. The person who's farthest away from the box office total will go and see Sausage Party.
I'm not going
Next week.
first. Not going first.
Well, I said it's number 2, so
All
See,
right.
I think it should be you.
Kari Lane?
well, actually, you know the thing though is we've seen it so often lately that just because a movie's number 2 or number 3, their numbers actually aren't that high.
That's true.
It's like they're in there by default. Let's see. Well, if I said Suicide Squad is 1, if that drops down, man, my math skills are fail right now.
I'm loving this.
So, I mean, that's like, say, 66 million?
20.
20? Okay. All right.
Go
DJ.
20 for Sausage Party.
20 for Sausage Party. Richie Skye, higher or lower? What do you think?
It has to be lower for me. So
Yeah,
just
you
by
put it lower on your
estimation
list,
of my
yeah.
of my list. So I'm going to simply say it's going to come in at 10.
Okay.
Ooh, that seems okay. All right.
Ooh, we got someone guessing
listen,
17.
I have to
All
go
right.
10 simply because of the way my list is set up.
Yeah,
he's
that's true.
right.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
have to
true.
stay true to my list. So
Yeah,
now I've
you
got
got
to
to.
stick with it.
Your
All right.
turn.
So for me,
Literally, sausage.
let's see, 10, 20. Man, I mean, I could just be easy and split the difference at
You
15, and then I'm sitting pretty. I'm sitting really pretty for this.
What? Someone said 50
50
million.
Sylvia, it's 50 million?
Well, that's the other end where if it
Yeah.
does amazingly well.
The role of Quinn is being played by Sylvia, and she's guessed 50 million. So guess who's the most off next week? You might have to see it.
You know what? I for fun, I'm gonna go right down the middle. 15 million. I could see it doing
Okay.
that. So
Well played, Frank.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well
There's a
played.
strategy to this game as well, but. Keep that in mind, folks. Once we get the results here for this, the loser, whoever's farthest away from the actual box office total, will be going to see Sausage Party, and we'll hear their
And
thoughts about
remember-
it the following week.
Quinn did say 50 million
Yes, you did.
via
That's right.
Sylvia.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Box Office Breakdown. But as always, thanks so much for joining us on the chat. We love to hear you guys' comments throughout the show. You can also like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter. We continue the conversation even after this show's over. Richie Skye, if they want to continue the conversation with you, where can they find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DJ Richie Skye, and I'm also on this nifty little Insta Snap.
And you guys can find me online at Kari D. Lane.
And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. I like Hugh saying 5 quadrillion. Take it to the bank. All right, Hugh. Looks like you might be seeing a movie next week there.
Yep.
Well,
All right.
I think they said Ugandan dollars, though.
Oh, Ugandan
Yeah.
dollars? Oh, all right. Whoops. Thanks so much for watching us, folks. We love having you guys join us here every week for Box Office Breakdown, and we'll see you next week here on Popcorn Talk.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.